Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Everton 1, Manchester United 0. Manchester United 0. Manchester United 3. Wishful thinking there. Manchester United 3. Yes, very, very poor performance from the Blues. Yeah, let's get into it. The player ratings. In goal, Jordan Pickford. I've given him a 6. He made one good save in the second half from Marcus Rashford when Seamus Coleman allowed them to be onside when he was like 10 yards behind the play. Made a really good save. Obviously, there was the moment in the second half when he dropped the ball, but it did look like it was because of contact from Harry Maguire. Whether he should have just let that ball go over his head is maybe another question, or whether his size simply means that he's anything above his head, he seems to be he just seems to be anything above 6 foot. He seems to be stretching for, which leads to situations like this. And I think now that we've all had a little taste of Robin Olsen last week, we all feel like the pressure is on him there. So I don't think he could have done anything about any of the goals, really. And so I've given him a 6 anyway. Seamus Coleman, I've given him a 5 because I just thought he just didn't look on it today. He made a few good runs forward, I'll give him that, but he led to very little because he just didn't do anything with them. He didn't. There was a few times when James Rodriguez had the ball, and James Rodriguez was basically saying, "Where are you? Go round me." So clearly there was a lack of fitness there from him or something today. And I've said for a while, and I will continue to say, we need to go out and buy a top class right back, an absolute top class right back. Otherwise, we'll continue to struggle because Seamus Coleman is being asked to do a hell of a lot, and he just won't be fit half of the time. And so, what's the point? You need someone who can go in and back him up. And we don't have backups either. So, I've given him a 5. Luca Dean, I've given a 6. I thought he was a little bit better. I thought first half he was better. I thought his link-up play with Bernard looked really good early on. He obviously smashed one off the post as well. But, got forward a lot better, but no end product, really, which was disappointing. Ultimately, he linked up well with Bernard, but at times in the first half, but it seemed to just dry up second half as we tried to be a little bit more solid. And the centre-backs, Michael Keane, I've given him a 4. I look at both goals. I've given Holgate a 4 as well. I look at both goals and I look at the centre-backs and I'm thinking, why hasn't one of you? You haven't got anyone to mark. And I know they play zonal marking, but you haven't got anyone to mark. So how can Bruno Fernandes be in so much space? And I know he leaves Gylfi Sigurdsson, and I know that's a different thing, but surely one of the centre-backs has to have the responsibility to say, I'm going to go. And neither of them done that today. Neither of them took that responsibility. Both of them looked flat-footed. Their passing was poor. Mason Holgate was trying to be clever with little passes that weren't coming off. But I just look at both of the goals in the first half, and the third one doesn't matter. We've all gone forward. It's the classic breakaway. The first 2 goals. Why aren't one of our players just going, right, we'll just mark the man. Just mark the man. There's a man in the box for each. Someone take the responsibility. The second goal, I think, is behind Michael Keane, so it's more maybe on Mason Holgate. He can see him. But surely those 2 players have got to talk to each other and say, right, if he comes, you take him. We let 2 goals in that were very, very similar, and that can't happen. Defensively, we're an absolute shambles. We've allowed Manchester United to have 6 shots on target today. 6 shots on target, and we've had 1 shot on target, which was the goal. That tells the story for me of the game ultimately. But as defenders, you've got to have responsibility. You've got to just say, I'm going to take that player. You've got to be aware that there's no one around you. Maybe that comes from, and I'm not digging him out here, but maybe that's the goalkeeper saying, seeing the picture because he's looking that way while players are looking at the ball. But you've got to have that. You've got to be able to just look around and go, right, I'm doing that. And someone go meet. That's what actually Yerry Mina's good at. He sees a lot of the time and will go and meet the ball. We've changed it today, and not saying it's cost us. It's bad habits that we did. These are habits that that plagued Silver. These are the habits that plagued Silver and why we were conceding goals. And they come back again. And it is like Groundhog Day. This team can't defend. And I know it's more than defenders, it's a whole team. But it can't defend. That's the only consistency of the whole season, is that we can't defend. We've had one clean sheet in the Premier League, and that tells you something. That tells you that there's a massive issue balance-wise, and it needs to be addressed. Midfield, Alan, I've given him a 7 because I thought second half he was brilliant. Second half he was doing the job that you expect him to do. I don't know why that wasn't there first half. I don't know whether he was asked to sit deeper and that is the job he should be doing, and that means that other people aren't doing his job or doing their jobs. I think midfield at the moment is a little bit unbalanced because the Core's not been great. He hasn't been great at all recently. And the other player just isn't doing the job. And they can't solve that player who's going to do that job. So there's no consistency. There's no continuity. That's a big thing we're missing, is that continuity. Alan, second half, I thought did his job though, but others aren't. And if he's doing their jobs for them, that's going to mean that he's not doing his job properly. And I don't know whether that'll be, again, I don't like mentioning, Jean-Philippe Gbamin. I really don't. I don't think that, I don't like talking about it because we haven't seen enough of him. But surely there's got to be someone else who can go in there. Like, that's why I think Delph went in there. I think Delph went in there for that reason. I think Delph was like, he'll help out with the defensive side of things, and that would allow the core. But last week we got it completely wrong. We just got the balance wrong last week. But then again today it was wrong. Come on to Sigurdsson. So I've given Alan 7. The core I've given him a 4. And that's not only... For me, a lot of the times, he just looks like doesn't know exactly what his job is, like I've just said. But at the end there, he's got 2 great chances to hit the target. 2 great chances. The first one he puts over, and the second one he doesn't even contact, really. And they break and score, and it's just like, you've got to start doing something with that. The Corey's a player who's been playing in the Premier League for the last few years, and we've looked at him from afar, and we'd admired him, going, we'd like a little bit of that on our team, and started the season really well. But over the last month, he's gone missing for me in a lot of the games. And I thought today again he was poor. But that brings me to Gylfi Sigurdsson. I've give Gylfi Sigurdsson genuinely a 1. And that's because I've got to give them a score between 1 and 10, really. I know I haven't done that in the past, but like, what does he offer the team? What does he bring? What does the manager see that we don't see? What does he bring to this football club anymore? What does he bring to the team? I don't get it. I really... His set pieces are awful. He just stands and the first goal, he's pointing at Fernandes. Why isn't he getting back with Bruno Fernandes? Why isn't he tracking him into the box? I know the defender should do better, but why is he standing there pointing at a player? He offers nothing. Absolutely nothing. What does he offer on the pitch? What can you honestly say and go, oh, he did this or he did that, or at least he's doing this or at least he's doing that? He offers nothing. And I don't understand why he gets an opportunity. Like, last week, I don't know if he's the captain of the side, but I don't get it. And these are the things where people start looking at the manager, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to do that. But people look and go, why is he getting your side? Like, I would love to be able to interview Carlo Ancelotti, and just the first question is, I'd ask him to say, what does Gylfi Sigurdsson bring to this Everton team? What do you see that we don't see as fans, or plaudits or whatever, pundits or whatever? What do you see that we don't see? What is he bringing to this side that Tom Davis couldn't bring to this side, or whatever? What does he bring? Like, he shouldn't be anywhere near set pieces. James Rodriguez should be on the set pieces. So what is he offering? The answer is nothing. He offers nothing, and this is not a scapegoat campaign or anything. He genuinely offers nothing, and we can all see it, and we see it week in and week out. And it's fine saying like, oh well, Gomez offers nothing, or I genuinely, and I said this in my starting 11, I'd just stick Iwobi in there and just see what happens. Because Iwobi, I'd just say to Iwobi, listen, we know that what you can do it when you're on the ball, that's great. But you have to start doing stuff off the ball, and we'll give you a chance. We'll put you in there for a few games and give you a chance and see what happens. And that goes, like I said before, that's that weird continuity. That's settling a team down and letting it settle. And I'm not like Iwobi's biggest fan, everyone knows that. But when he comes off the bench, he genuinely does something. He's not a left winger at all. Maybe he's better on the right because he's got Seamus Bowman and he can play when James Rodriguez can go central. And maybe that. And I've said this on me match reaction. You're going to have to ask someone like Iwobi to do a lot more in midfield. But then you're going to have to say, here's a chance at Everton Football Club to be in the team. What more do you want? You want to play central, but you're going to have to do the hard work as well. And maybe that's what was missing with Iwobi at Arsenal, that he wouldn't do the hard work. But he's going to have to start doing the hard work. Gylfi Sigurdsson doesn't do anything. Iwobi being on the pitch for 5 minutes and I've done more than to Gylfi Sigurdsson. And I just think it's now time to just bomb these players out. Just get rid of them. It's just, I don't see it, and it's not like it's a new thing. It's been going on since the beginning of last season. Absolutely, just he's finished as a footballer. He might have the odd good game now and again, but I just think he's finished as a footballer. I don't know how he gets anywhere near this team. Bernard, I've given him a 6. Started brightly, scored the goal. Obviously, good goal, well taken. But then just done well first half, but then just went downhill really second half. Yeah, he did all right. He did okay for as I said, first half, but just went out of the game second half. They started crowding them out the game, I think. Nice to see him get a goal, but ultimately didn't mean anything for us. So I've given him a 6. He won't be in the side the next game because Richarlison will be back. And that's the difference of Richarlison, is like a forward and a left winger, and it gets back and helps out. But yeah, done all right. Give him a 6. James Rodriguez, give him a 5 because he didn't look fit. And actually, this is a mad one because the manager said that he'd asked him if he was fit, and he said yeah, and Carlo Ancelotti said he wasn't so sure. So he's not fit. So he's not fit. Why? I know you've got to play him, but he was all right when he was on the ball, but there was too many times when they hustled him out the game, and he didn't like it, and he reacted poorly. He'd throw his hands up in the air and go down, and that's sometimes like an inner thing I find when players aren't playing well. The frustrated with themselves. He looked all right when he went central, and then oddly enough, it looked like he might have picked up a foul or picked up a knock, or that injury might have come back. So he looked good when he went central, and Iwobi went on the right because he was starting to affect the game, but he got taken off. And when you're getting taken off for Cenk Tosun, then it says it all really. So I've given him a 5, but as I say, I don't think he looks fit. I don't think he's got an effect on the game when he's fit. Simple as that. And when Seamus Coleman doesn't look fit. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given him a 7. Worked hard. Had to do so much on his own. Had to create his own chances. Had to do everything on his own. Again, isolated. When Everton have been a 4-3-3, And that's when Richarlison plays. We look good. Remember, Richarlison doesn't play with a 4-5-1, and suddenly the chances don't come. And we've had one shot on target today. And that's the simple fact. That's the simple fact of it. So, we're conceding goals and we're not scoring goals, and that's only going to lead to one thing, isn't it? Defeats. And that's 3 defeats in a row. So, yeah, Dom I thought did well, but unfortunately, no one helped them, no one supported them. And the other thing about it today was we were throwing in loads of crosses at the end, but that's what Harry Maguire loves, crosses in the air. That's what he's built for. That's why his head's that size and that shape, to head the ball away. We weren't eventful enough. We weren't like whipping them low. I think we might have had one. I think we might have whipped one in that Maguire got his head on and knocked out. But it has to be something a little bit different. It has to be the kind of ball like it was last week for Dom's goal. Fizzed low where he could go anywhere. There wasn't enough of that today. There wasn't enough creativeness. There wasn't enough event. There wasn't enough. It was just crap, wasn't it? The subs, Iwobi, I've given a 7 as well. I think you know what. Last week I was a bit harsh on Iwobi. I think his score was quite low last week. It should have been a little bit higher. I hadn't quite sort of come off with the realisation sometimes, which I do sometimes because I do straight after the match of what he'd done. But I thought today. I watched him as soon as he come on because I knew obviously we had to, we could still get back in the game. And he was good. He was tidy. Maybe not quick enough on the ball at times, but when he went out wide, right, coming in centrally, I thought he's inventful. He creates things. So as I said, I would maybe look at that as a role he could. As a role he could play in, as I said, if he was a little bit more hard working, I think there'd be a spot for him midfield, depending on which way we want to go. But he'd have to be hard working simply because if Hammers is on the right, he almost takes up Iwobi's position. It's a difficult balancing act for the manager, one that we haven't quite got right yet. I don't think, certainly in the last 4 games, we haven't got it right. And Tosin, I've given a 2. He was abysmal. His passing's abysmal. His hair's abysmal. I know he's just coming back, but he's not good enough. He's not good enough. He never was good enough. Sometimes when players come back, you're like, yeah, we've got them back, and then you realise, don't you, after a game or two, you're like, yeah, that's why we weren't that bothered. So he was awful. Even if it was just his passing, he played 2 passes, they went out, one went for a throw. Oh, it was terrible. Yeah, there you go. They're my player ratings. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Highly disappointing day, highly disappointing month. All that sort of enthusiasm and goodwill and hope for the season's gone now, hasn't it? As we slowly slip down the table, it's been horrendous. We have to, the international break probably come at the worst time last time, even though we had a few injuries. This time, it might be at the right time, I don't know. But then it's 2 weeks of just being miserable and also having nothing else to do because we can't go out anywhere. So, yeah, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more great videos, live videos, daily live videos, join us over on Patreon. The link will be in the description where we can all have a moment together. There you go. Thanks for watching. See you later.